operator for the River City Arc Slow-Scan TV Net. This net serves for training and practice in image transmission modes and meets Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific Time on the N6NA repeater on 441.30 megahertz. River City Arc's members and all licensed radio amateurs are welcome to participate. If you wish to join the net or need to make a call at any time, please announce your call sign between transmissions and net control will acknowledge you. If an emergency should arise and you need the repeater, please contact net control by saying break break. A double break signifies emergency traffic. The net will stand by for you until the emergency is terminated or the traffic is moved to another frequency. Stations who wish to check in are asked to respond with their full call sign using the recognized ITU phonetic alphabet and their name. I'll recognize each station before continuing. Any station who wishes to check into the net, please come now.
November 6, Papa Golf, Quebec, Bob in Roseville.
November 6, Kilo Echo November, Ken.
Kilo Papa 4, Mike Delta, Carol, Citrus Heights.
I have Bob, N6BGQ, and Ken, N6KEN, and Carol, KB4MD. Anyone else like to check in? All right, this is James, Alpha Echo 6 Juliet Golf, net control for tonight's Slow-Scan TV Net. And Bob, you checked in first, so you get to go first. Are you ready to share an image?
Well, I didn't expect to be first, but let's give this a shot. This should be PD 120 if everything works right.
Thanks, Bob. N6PGQ, this is AE6JG. That's a very interesting picture of an old capacitor. At the bottom quarter, I got several interrupting signals that show as color bars across the bottom. I don't know if that's the APRS check-ins that we were having before or what, but very interesting. Let's ask Ken to comment on it. N6KEN.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. N6KEN. Yeah, during that transmission, I got around 3 interruptions where I wasn't receiving anything from Bob. And like you, it looks like, you know, a rainbow across the image. I don't know what it is. It looks like some torture device, maybe.
Oh, certainly. By the way, Andy from England, 2 Echo 0 Romeo Echo Echo, is on YouTube watching. Andy, you're welcome to make comments, and I'll read them if you want to guess what this is. Carol, KP4MD, go ahead.
Yeah, this is KP4MD. Picture came through the same, nice and clear, with the same few. I think I count 4 horizontal lines, or 5 actually, in the bottom third of the picture. You could see on YouTube. I've seen this kind of device before. The old ice trucks that would deliver ice. They would pick up the gigantic blocks of ice with these things. It was kind of like a pick. Then they would drop it off at your house there. Before, when we had instead of refrigerators like now, people used to have ice boxes, and they'd have to have ice delivered to their houses every so often to keep their ice boxes cold. That's what I'm thinking, and because I know that Bob loves to send pictures from the last millennium, you know, just to, so back to Nets, KP4MD.
Thanks, Carol. Yes, this definitely follows the analog theme. Bob, what are we looking at?
Well, Carol is exactly right. They are ice tongs, and the ice delivery man would use those to put it into your ice box, which is usually a little small section right above the refrigerated items, so that the cool falls and keeps your milk and fruits and vegetables and milk and everything else nice and cool. So Carol got it 100% in 6PGQ.
Thanks, Bob. Really a great image. The first 3 quarters are perfect, and then we have these hashes along the bottom. Before I move on to Ken, is anybody else interested in joining us tonight? Okay, Ken, N6KEN, your turn.
Okay, well, the picture I was going to show is coming up sideways, so if Carol is ready for an image, I'll work on resizing my image, and I'll go the next round.
Okay, Carol, KP4MD.
Affirmative. This is going to be PD 120.
Well, Carol, that's one of the clearer pictures I've gotten from you. There are scattering pixel pops throughout, but that's a pretty good image for, particularly for something that recently happened. Bob, N6PGQ, do you know what this is?
Well, I do. It looks like a picture of Ed Fong in his dining room. And Ed's the guy that makes the plastic encased J-pole antennas, the ones that are inside a piece of PVC. And looks like that was taken at his house, N6PGQ. Quality's good.
Thanks, Bob. Ken, N6KEN, comments?
Yeah, N6KEN. I'm not sure if my radio is still having issues or not, but during that transmission, all of a sudden the power, I could hear the signal from the repeater would go really low, and I got those bars again. Did anybody else experience that, or did they get a full, complete image?
This was a full image this time. There were no interruptions like Bob's picture, and I didn't detect power reductions. Anyone else? No, I guess not, Ken. Did you get the image at all?
Yeah, I got about 90% of it. So yeah, I could tell it was from tonight's Zoom session with W6EK.
Right, talking about the USDX. I think it was an interesting discussion. Most of what he talks about is way above my head, but I'm learning, I'm absorbing. It's sort of like listening to CW. Carol, what did you think of tonight?
Yeah, you're exactly right. This is a screen capture I took during the Zoom session. I found very, very interesting this Sigma Delta modulator that gets a single sideband out of a Class E nonlinear final amplifier in that little USGX. And he what he said about the distortion on the audio being generally 5% or so, and 10% if you're yelling into the microphone. And that's pretty much what we observed. So this is nothing new. Apparently he's completely aware of it with that level of technology. It's even it's absolutely surprising you can do that, get that kind of efficiency, because like the Class E type amplifier typically will give you like 90 to 95% efficiency, even way better than what a Class C RF amplifier does. So they really have done their work, and of course there's a lot of math involved. Having that high-powered microprocessor do all of the processing is absolutely incredible. How they were able to work that out. So I was very, very impressed with his presentation. He didn't. I don't even, pretend to understand all the math behind it, but it's impressive what they could do with something so simple. I was very impressed. Back to you, KP for MD.
Thanks, Carol. Yeah, I was very impressed too. I was waiting for you. I almost jumped in and asked you to explain what you found when we compared this USDX transceiver for $155 to the $2,000 KX2 that we sampled with your analyzer. But of course, that would have just been presumed. He would have said, of course, they're different. But it was a good discussion. Any questions before we move on to Ken?
Yeah, I have one more comment. I did mention that the second harmonic on from 7 megahertz was down 30 dB on 14 megahertz, and he was quite aware of that, and that really does not comply with FCC requirements, which is at least 43 dB down on those spurious emissions. But like he says, it's such a minute amount of power going out that hardly anybody's going to, if you're transmitting 5 watts on 7 megahertz and you're 30 dB down on 14 megahertz, you're putting out 5 milliwatts. And although it possibly could be heard, under extremely good conditions, it's not something to worry too much about. Over.
Right, and it's, at least he classified it as experimental. Before we move on to you, Ken, let me see if anybody else wants to join us tonight. This is James Alpha Echo 6 Juliet Golf, net control for the Slow Scan TV Net that we're having tonight on Wednesday, November 29th, 2023. Anybody else want to join us? Hearing nothing, Ken, N6KEN.
Time. There is a double.
Did I hear somebody else check in? Did anyone else copy that? I thought I heard somebody too. All right, Ken, N6KEN, your turn.
Okay, well, if there is another person that wants to get in here, I will go now, and then maybe they can jump in a second. And I think I finally figured out what my issue was. I think my DMR hotspot, which is sitting right next to my radio, it's also on 70 centimeters is interfering. So I think mystery is solved. Anyway, I've got an image coming, PD 120.
Thanks, Ken, N6KEN, AE6JG. That's a beautiful image. I'm interested to learn more about that. Came through really well. Very light little pixels throughout in my copy. Maybe not a super in focus photo. It seems just a little bit blurry. I'm not sure if that's the original shot or the way it came through. I see that bridge over the cliffs there. Pretty interesting. Bob, N6PGQ, comments.
Yeah, that's a really inviting place. There are quite a few pixel pops, throughout the whole picture, but since there's all the nice green foliage, you can't see much of them. I want to know where that is. That's really nice. I haven't quite seen that particular angle in that shot, if it's a familiar place. So it'd be interesting to hear about it in 6PGQ.
Thanks, Bob. Carol, KP4MD.
Yeah, I have no idea where this is. It looks like some kind of a fantasy Photoshop where you have one waterfall up higher, and then another one lower in the foreground, and a little like a stone bridge over the one in the foreground. Very interesting composition, and perhaps there is a place such as this. There are quite a few pixel pops I did receive here as well, although they kind of blend in with the foliage in the background, but a beautiful picture there. Thank you. Very wonderful nature pictures. KP for MD. Back to Net.
Thanks, Carol. Ken, N6KEN, what are we looking at?
Yeah, well, this is not Photoshop, and it's not a fantasy. It just came out with a bad resolution after I converted it from my phone to what PD120 wanted. But I took this last month. I went up to Portland, Oregon to visit a friend of mine, and over the weekend ran all over the place up in the Portland area. And this is one of my stops with Multnomah Falls. It's about 30, maybe 40 minutes to the east of Portland along the Columbia River. And it's a multiple fall, so the first fall comes down into a little lake, and then it goes down once again. And I took the quarter-mile hike up to the bridge as well, and it was well worth it. Extremely beautiful. It gets even better after we left because of all the fall colors fully came in, but really enjoyed it. Back to Net N6NA.
Wow, that's beautiful. Thanks, Ken. Any comments for Ken? Anyone else like to join us before I send an image?
Kilo 6 Alpha Victor Bravo.
Was that Kilo 6 Alpha Victor Bravo?
Yeah, sorry about the bad quality here. I'm using a little Yagi and an HT to try to get in because I don't have another 70-centimeter antenna. But I'm listening in tonight for the first time, decoding, and yeah, just listening. Thank you. Jacob and Aubrey.
Hey, Jacob. Thanks for joining us. Do you want to try to send something? You're using audio coupling?
Yeah, right now I don't yet have capability to send. I just have capability to decode on my phone, so I'm listening in and decoding, but I might try to send another time.
Well, you are very welcome to join us any Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. All right. Do you have any comments on what you've seen so far?
Oh, I'm ecstatic to see the technology work. It's new to me, so.
Copy that. Yeah, it is kind of amazing. All right. Well, I'm going to send an image, PD120, and I guess here we go. I'll just hope it works. I'm not going to test for tone. Here we go. start with Jacob, K6AVB. Did you copy that?
Yeah, Jacob here, Kilo 6 Alpha Victor Bravo. I got the image. Looks like it's probably your shack there. And I got a big bar across the top. It was like some green junk. But everything else looks okay, just kind of fuzzy. Over.
Copy that. Thanks, Jacob. Bob, N6PGQ.
Well, we have on the left side a very large monitor with a couple of cameras on the top of it, and somebody's looking at RV life on their Macintosh. And on the top of the radio is a key, and radio below it, looks like a 2-meter 440 mobile rig off to the right, and another monitor probably mirroring the, looks like it's mirroring the display on the radio. And nice quality, very few pixel pops, N6PGQ.
Thanks, Bob. Ken, N6KEN.
Yeah, I can tell this is a Yaesu family ham, FTM 400, which I have in my car, and I think that is a FTX10 below it, and a signal link USB device. Curious if you're using that with the FTM 400 or not, or if that was an older setup or not. That's an N6KEN.
Thanks, Ken. And Carol, KB4MD, I know you saw this earlier tonight.
Yeah, I saw this earlier tonight. Picture, I can see the ID from the repeater. It's it kind of crosses up about 1/3 of the way down, just underneath the back of that tractor trailer on in the picture of your RV life there. I'm curious. Next to the Yaesu HF rig, I see what looks like an LDG. I think that's an LDG tuner down there. And then underneath that little table that's on the right side, that the small monitor's on. Actually, I have one of those tables just like that. I keep my HTs on. There's a few boxes under there, and I'm curious what those are. They're kind of dark, and behind the maybe that's the actual 2-meter radio that you have just the faceplate on a stand in front of it there. So very good. Thank you for sharing this, KP4MD.
Thanks, Carol. This is AE6JG. So Anders, NR6H, gave me an old monitor, which I hooked up today to the FT710. It's not a DX10, which I got at Pacificon, Ken. I just couldn't resist. I had a 991 in there, but now that's for camping. And Carol, that is an AT100 Pro 2 auto tuner, the LDG. And then, yeah, you're right. It's the FTM 400 actual radio underneath the black shelf that the new monitor is sitting on. I set this up quickly today. Tomorrow I'll reconfigure everything to kind of clean it up and make it cleaner. It was very nice of Anders. He had an extra monitor, and it's about, I guess, 14-inch monitor. It's kind of nice to see the display of the FT710 bigger. I think it's a little more cool than useful, but it's why not? And I have a wireless mouse hooked to it, and it works great in the back of the radio. Any questions?
Yeah, I'll just comment. That radio is extremely a lot of radio for the money. I know it was just on sale for I think $7.99, which is incredible. It's got a great receiver, just like the other Yaesu ones that are in the line, like the 101 and the 10. So yeah, you got a great setup there.
Thanks, Ken. Yeah, I'm pleased with it. I was really aiming for a 10, and then the price difference of I don't know, $500 price difference between the 710 and the 10. I just couldn't justify it. And this is working really well. I'm really impressed with it. Okay, let me see if there's anybody else out there who wants to join us. If not, I'll close the net. All right, well, let me thank Andy in England, 2E0REE, and Jacob. Great that you joined us. Very happy to have you, K6AVB. I have to go find the script now. All right, thanks to everybody who participated in tonight's Slow Scan TV Net. We hope to see you again next Wednesday at 9 p.m. The net is officially closed at 9:33 p.m. My name is James Alpha Echo 6 Juliet Golf, wishing all of you a good evening. Oh, Ken, you asked about the signal link. Yeah, that's hooked to the FTM 400.
Yeah, it seems that I've mystery is solved. My little DMR hotspot was causing the interference and blocking out the signal. So I guess I have to power it off or relocate it. 7-3 everyone, N6KEN.
Thanks, Ken. I think there was a double.
Yeah, just Jacob here, K6AVB, saying thanks in 7-3s, and hope to join you again in the future.
Thanks, Jacob. And if you have any questions about software, how to get set up with whatever radio you're using, you can send an email to contact@n6na.org, or any of us. I think our emails are all current on QRZ, and we'd be happy to help you. That's how I learned. There's a lot of expertise in this group. Usually we have a larger group, so it's kind of quiet tonight, but we're really glad you joined us. Ken, I meant to answer your question. The signal link is hooked to the FTM 400.
Oh, okay. Yeah, very good. I wasn't sure. Yeah, I don't think it has any way to interface with USB or anything like that. So yeah, you'd need something like that. I keep mine in the car, but I was always curious if I was going to make it a base station before I bought the 9700, if it would work or not. I still have my signal link, but it's packed away now. I was using it with the IC706, but I sold that. So yeah. And then Jacob, yeah, thanks for joining. I was going to say the same thing. I started out doing exactly like you are, doing the coupling, using the iPhone app and decoding, and then I decided to finally join. So welcome to the net, and hope you come back to N6KEN. Good evening, everyone.